Harihi Om. Namaste, Prague Spirit Festival. My name is Bryce Delbridge, here to introduce myself, give an idea of who I am and what I'm all about. For me, yoga is all about healing, removing suffering. I first began practicing yoga at the age of 15 to avoid having my entire spine fused with titanium due to scoliosis. Scoliosis is the rotation and side-to-side curvature of the spine. When I first began practicing yoga, I couldn't touch my toes, and I couldn't do a single chaturanga. Surgeons at the time said that I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I was 30. Now, I'm 33 years old, and I can move and breathe in ways that very few people in the world are able to. Want to see? So I first began practicing yoga with the recommendation of dear family friends, Andrew Epler and Ray Epler. They go way back with my parents. They found out I was facing the surgery and suggested I try yoga. And after my very first class, I knew I would never have surgery. And I've dedicated my entire life to healing arts, and helping to support others with similar situation. After studying Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga with Andrew and his father for about 5 years, they suggested that I travel to India and study with their teacher, Sri B.N.S. Iyengar. That's where I learned the 4 classical sequences of Ashtanga Yoga, as well as advanced pranayama, full body Hatha Yoga mudras, as well as philosophy. After that first trip around the world, I came back here to home, to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, United States, and began teaching full-time. After some years of teaching, I gradually developed repetitive use injuries, sharp shooting pain down my arms. It got to the point where I couldn't even lift a single coffee cup without shooting pain, much less do handstands. And I was really distraught. Fortunately, I was supported and guided to study yoga therapy with integrative yoga therapy. That's where I learned the anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, as well as a whole slew of other practices and elements of practice that I'd never been exposed to. That's where I really learned the relationships within the body, the relationships of muscle patterns within the body. You see, every repetitive use injury is due to imbalances of relationships. Every movement that we do, one set of muscle contracts and an opposite set relaxes. If I straighten the arm, tricep engages, bicep relaxes. If I bend the arm, bicep engages, tricep relaxes. Every movement that we do, one set of muscle is contracting and the opposite set is relaxing. For those with scoliosis, the imbalance in that relationship just becomes very severe and very extreme. The weak areas become completely atrophied, and the mind has extreme difficulty even being aware of that part of the body. And the strong areas are super strong, like weightlifter Olympic athletes strong. They're incredibly strong. And that's where the mind easily goes to. And as they say, where the mind goes, the energy flows. So for me, with scoliosis, I had these extreme imbalances, and I was practicing very advanced Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga. To no fault of Ashtanga and to no fault of my teachers, I developed these patterns due to my own ignorance, of my own pattern. Did my pattern get deepened through the very intense practices of Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga? You see, my strong areas were getting stronger, and my weak areas were getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Through my studies of yoga therapy, that's when I was able to first map out my body and become hyper aware of my imbalances, really realize, oh, that's why this is rotating in this direction, and that's why this is rotating in this direction. This is so strong, it's pulling the bones out of alignment, and this is just so weak, it can't simply keep everything aligned. Through my studies of yoga therapy, I was able to innovate new practices in order to target the weak areas, in order to trick them into waking up. And I was able to find other ways of relaxing, massaging, and releasing the areas that were too strong. Through this process of rebuilding my practice from the ground up, of going from not even being able to do a single chaturanga to being able to do handstands all over again, It's taken me many years to develop this routine and this science and this approach to these advanced asanas. But now my practice is more potent than ever, stronger than ever, and more balanced than ever. Today I share these same practices that I've innovated for my own healing with others. And I've created a system of approaching Vinyasa Yoga that's more holistic than anything I've ever found. In my class that we'll be doing with Prague Spirit Festival, we'll be introducing this approach, starting with very simple, approachable practices for everyone, very gentle, rocking somatic movements, in order to relax the body, induce a parasympathetic state of relaxation, and start to notice the subtle imbalances that are already there. We'll start with these very gentle practices that help us create more awareness, and we'll gradually build the intensity of the practice, playing with almost invisible movements, simply designed to feel the relationships of strength and weakness in the body, becoming more aware of our own patterns of strength and weakness, and be able to apply this knowledge to our own personal practice. This class, of course, will simply be an introduction, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm very grateful to the community of Prague, very grateful to Martina for this opportunity, very grateful for this whole world of yogis and teachers that have supported me, that have guided me to where I am today. Many thanks to all of my students, many thanks to all of my teachers, many thanks to all of you. Please feel welcome to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. The practice we go over will indeed be for everyone. We'll start off with very simple practices, and we'll let it gradually build, simply doing as much as you like. Always avoiding pain, using the practice to become hyper-aware of yourself, of your own heart, your own being. Many thanks, much gratitude, so much love. Namaste.